Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out the Realacc D215 frame. It's actually part of a frame kit that came with some motors, ESCs, and flight controller. We'll be doing a build with all this stuff in the future. I just want to go over the frame itself in this video. This is a sort of a new style frame that's kind of mimicking the Dquad Obsession frame. It's got these sort of like caged look here. I'm not exactly sure what they call this, but this is an aluminum frame part on top of the carbon. I don't think it's an exact clone of the Dquad's Obsession. I think that it's close in resemblance. I don't think any of the accessories that work with the Dquad's Obsession will work with this frame, so just be aware of that. Let's go quickly over what you get in the kit. You get 4 arms. These are 4mm arms, and you get 2 of these bracing plates. I think these are 1.5mm. We'll check that in a second. You get a PDB with an XD60 connector. This is just a standard 5V and 12V Maytech. Does not come with a current sensor, I don't believe. Let's double check that. Yeah, it does not come with a current sensor. You get 2 of these aluminum parts here for the cage. Some standoffs, nylon standoffs here, some screws and nuts. This little piece here is for your SMA connector for your VTX. You get a battery strap and you get a LiPo protector, so the battery goes on the bottom here, and then this goes on the ground to protect the battery from landings. Check the width of check the thickness of the arm, and it comes in at just 4mm. This bracing plate is about 2mm. Same with the other one. The side plates are 1.5mm. And I'm curious how much these aluminum pieces weigh. They don't feel super light, but they don't feel heavy either. So these 2 aluminum pieces come in at almost 34.9 grams. So taking a closer look at the cut of the carbon itself, it's actually not that bad. I know Realacc, all these frames from Banggood have a pretty bad reputation for having horrible cuts with a lot of burrs, and these are probably some of the best ones I've seen from them. Obviously still not the best I've seen out there. I've seen somewhere these edges are all beveled, but that's a lot of extra work. But these look pretty decent, and I think that this style of the end of the arm here where it protects the motor is pretty common in all the Realacc frames, so if you have any like 3D printed bumper parts, that kind of stuff will probably fit this pattern as well. So these side plates also look pretty good, pretty clean cut. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll put this together and I'll show you what it looks like completely assembled, and we'll get a weight measurement. Okay, so here it is fully assembled. It's actually pretty easy to put together. Something I'm noticing is it's kind of bare bones here in the center section here underneath, and the only thing that's structurally holding the arms to the center section here are these screws here. So there's 4 outer screws that go into this nut here. And then you got 4 screws that go into this aluminum bar on both sides. So there's 8 screws. These 4 screws here aren't really that structural because they go into these little nylon standoffs that hold the flight controller stack. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is all that great of a design. It does feel very rigid. I did try bending this, and it seems like it's okay, but it appears that only these 8 outer screws are actually holding the whole frame together. So it might be a design flaw, perhaps. I'm not sure, but it doesn't feel like the frame is flexible at all. So once you get the arms attached to the 2 center plates, you put the aluminum pieces on with the 4 screws here, but you don't want to tighten them down yet because then you won't be able to get these standoffs in place. And then you just put the 2 side carbon plates on the outside, put the little standoff in here, and the 8 screws, or the 4 screws into the standoff from the side, And there's a third standoff right there on the inside that goes on the bottom. And I think this hole here is for your FPV camera, so it's going to point out that way. And then you have your VTX SMA connector back here. You can, if you have like a pigtail, that'd be ideal. And you can stick it out the back and keep your antenna protected, or the SMA connector protected. And yeah, the flight controller stack just goes in here. So pretty simple design. Actually went together really quickly. There's not a whole lot of parts to this. So let's go ahead and we'll get a weight measurement. So the whole frame comes in at about 122 grams. So for this size, 5-inch propeller, that's a little bit on the heavy side, just definitely not on the light side. And I believe this is a true X frame. I'm going to measure this out. So it looks like about 155 side to side. And also from front to back, also about the same, 155. And motor to motor is about 220. Anyway guys, I'll have a build video on this guy pretty soon with the Racer Star motors. I think I'm going to use the Tattoo BL Heli 32 ESCs on this build instead of the BL Heli S40 amp ESCs that came in the kit. I think that people are going to be more interested in those ESCs than the, everyone has BL Heli S, and that's pretty standard. So we'll check out the BL Heli 32 on this build coming up. Let me know if you have any questions about this frame, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.